future will be amazing, and that's all well and good. But what about today? You can feel the rush of a 400 horsepower Nissan Z, or climb to new heights in the all-terrain Nissan Frontier. Light up the road in the all-electric Nissan Ariya that feels like a sci-fi dream come true. The future will be great, but today is made for thrill. All you have to do is get in a Nissan and drive. 2023 Ariya and Z not yet available for purchase. Expected availability this spring for 2023 Z and is fall for 2023 Ariya. Light up the road in the all-electric Nissan Ariya that feels like a sci-fi dream come true.
Hurry into Mattress Firm's best Memorial Day sale ever. Get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $500 on Sealy. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchases up to a $4.99 value. Or shop Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America, and save up to $500 on adjustable mattress sets in stock for immediate delivery. And get a $300 instant gift. Talk to a sleep expert today, only at Mattress Firm. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Smile whenever you're sad. Carry you around when your arthritis is bad. Oh, all I wanna do is grow old with you. Get your medicine when your tummy aches. Build your fire if the furnace breaks. Oh, it could be so nice growing old with you. I'll miss you, kiss you, give me my coat when you are cold. I need you, feed you, even let you hold the remote control. So let me do the dishes in our kitchen sink, put you to bed when you've had too much to drink. Oh, I could be the man who grows old with you. I'll miss you, kiss you, give you my coat when you are cold. I need you, feed you, even let you hold the remote control. So let me do the dishes in our kitchen sink, put you to bed when you've had too much to drink. Oh, I could be the man who grows old with you. All I wanna do is grow old with you. Oh, all I wanna do is grow old with you.
gonna blow, so I'm gonna go down on the road again. Starting where the mountains left me, I end up where I began. Where I will go, the wind only knows. Good times around the bend. Get in my car, going too far, never coming back again. Tired and worn, I woke up this morning, found that I was confused. Spun right around and found I had lost the things that I couldn't lose. The beaches they sailed to build their hotels, my fathers and I once knew. The birds all along, the sunlight at dawn, singing Wamanalo Blue. Down on the road with mountains so old, far on the countryside. The birds on the wings forgetting their while, so I'm headed for the windward side. In all of your dreams, sometimes it just seems that I'm just along for the ride. Someday will cry because they have pride, but someone who's loved here died. Beaches they sell to build their hotels, my fathers and I once knew. The birds all along, the sunlight at dawn, singing Wamanalo Blue. 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 Singing Wamanalo.
Good morning. We are not starting yet, but I have a few announcements. Just some housekeeping items. So if you weren't here earlier, restrooms. If you need to use the restroom, it's located on the side of the main office. It's in the past couple of days when we've been practicing, it's been really hot. Hopefully everybody got water and you're hydrating. If you need more water, we have jugs located in front of the Idea Center. If you need some shade and you want to stand up, that's the place to go, is back there. If you have an umbrella, I don't think anybody does, but if you have anything, even like for filming and whatnot, just be cognizant of the people behind you, because everybody wants to get a picture. We actually do have a photographer here today, and so they will be taking pictures of the kids who are up here, so we're going to ask you to stay in your seats. Okay, so whatever pictures you can get from your seats, that's great. Otherwise, we have pictures here, and then the kids are going to take pictures, like a more staged picture in the Idea Center after graduation, and that'll all be posted for you guys to see. Okay, so if you guys can just stay in your seats throughout the performance. If you need to stand up and get shade, it's towards the back. Okay, appreciate that. Just make sure, your phones are off, on silent, whatever that may be. Let's see. There should have been a QR code that was given to you. So this whole performance is being live streamed, and it's going to be recorded. So if you need to, you can always watch it back later. But maybe one kind of thing you might want to try is when we do the video, the kids will probably be able to see the video well enough, but you guys may not, because you're all the way back there. So you may want to log on to the live stream at that time to be able to see the video if you want to see it while you're sitting here. Otherwise, again, it'll be recorded and you guys can watch it later. Okay, so the kids are starting to get ready. Just so you guys know kind of what's happening. They're staging up here. As soon as they give me the signal that they're ready, then they'll start coming down from this way and filling into the seats. So you can point all your cameras up that way as they're coming. But again, please, if you can just stay in your seats, we'd really appreciate it. Okay, we'll be back with you guys in just a bit and get started. Thank you. All right, we're going to get started, so if you can please take your seats. All right, once everyone's at your seats, I'm going to actually ask you to rise. So can everyone please rise for the class of 2022?
Good morning, parents, guests, teachers, and students. Please be seated. Welcome to Noelani School's 5th grade graduation. We are very proud to share this special day with all of you. We'd like to give a round of applause to recognize all the teachers and staff at Noelani for their hard work and support throughout the 5th graders' years here. We'd also like to recognize all of the parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, and other family members who, without their encouragement and support, these students wouldn't be sitting here today. Our principal, Mr. Brian Gussman, has some words of wisdom for our graduating class.
Thank you, Mr. Sakamoto. As I look out at this class, I see individuals that are the epitome of grit. When the pandemic hit us 2 years ago, many of the opportunities we normally have and offer disappeared in the blink of an eye. We had to make adjustments on the fly, switching to online classes, then to alternating days online, and then finally in person, but with a ton of restrictions. However, through it all, you persevered and rolled with the punches. Some might lament what you lost, but I, for one, would like to recognize the resilience you have built that will serve you well in your future. As I do every year, I'd like to offer our graduates advice as they move forward in their journey. First, make yourself the top priority. Don't get distracted by people trying to pull you away from your goals. There are so many paths you can take, and it might be confusing, but trust your instincts and the advice of people who have your best interest at heart. Do what is best for you, even if it means that you're standing alone. Next, learn from everything. School is important, but take the time to recognize the lessons you can learn from the world around you. I, for one, learn best when I travel. Lastly, and most importantly, I talk about this every single year. Choose your friends wisely. You're going to meet a lot of new people and interesting people in the coming years. Those who you call friends are people who will build you up. A friend is someone who understands your past, believes in your future, and accepts the way you are. Everyone else is just an acquaintance. These are people you can be friendly with, but will come and go in your life. So be cautious and value yourself in who you call your friend. There is so much more I want to tell you, but I think it's best if you figure it out on your own. So I'll leave you with one last quote. It's from Abraham Lincoln, who said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." Congratulations, Gecko class of 2022. Once a Gecko, always a Gecko.
Thank you, Mr. Gusman. 3 of our graduating 5th graders, Oliver Lucas, Victoria Saito, and Mari Wakabayashi, will share a little something about their memories and experiences here at Noelani.
It seems like so long ago, before the pandemic, we used to have movie nights on the lawn between A building and B building. Although it was 3 years ago, I still have vivid memories of those nights. My most vivid memory isn't about the movie that I saw. It was about the time I spent with my friends. When I arrived at the field with my brother and my parents, the sun hadn't set yet, and the sky was orange and pink. The air was cool, and the clouds were like chunks of cotton candy floating in the breeze. It wasn't very crowded yet, and people were just laying down their blankets and setting up their foldable chairs. My parents lay down our blankets and set up the chairs, while my brother was all wrapped up in pillows and blankets. After we got settled, we dug into a piping hot pizza that we got from Pizza Hut and some juice boxes. I enjoyed my pepperoni pizza and grape juice, but nobody noticed my brother eating rather quickly. After I ate several slices of pizza, I wandered around the field, which by now was very dark, to find my friends. After weaving through the crowd of blankets for a little while, I could just make out 2 figures in the distance that I instantly recognized. As I ran toward them, I could tell that they recognized me too. I greeted Sam and Carter, and we all agreed to go to the cotton candy stand. We arrived there and picked our flavors. Carter had cotton candy, Sam had banana, and I had cotton candy and banana. We watched as the cotton candy machine spun rapidly and how the stick caught the pink and yellow fluff onto the cone. Carter, Sam, and I handed over our tickets, and we were handed our cotton candy. We then ran off chasing each other with it, playing candy tag. Just as we finished up eating our candy, we spotted some older kids throwing ring-shaped glow sticks high in the air. They came in all colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and pink. I took my glow stick and threw it up in the air. Although it didn't seem that it was going to stop. It kept going up and up until it finally hit the tree, and it was caught in the branches. Then a group of kids came toward us and started throwing their sticks, attempting to free mine. Eventually, it fell from the tree and blew away with the wind, landing a good 10 feet away from me. I thanked the group for helping me get my glow stick down and went back to my parents. My mom was leaving with my little brother. All that pizza had made him sick, and now he was vomiting it up. I felt awkward having my friends standing next to me at that moment. Wanting to distract them, I suggested that we watch the movie, which, by the way, was Ralph Breaks the Internet. Carter and Sam agreed, and we sat there watching the giant inflatable screen. Even though I haven't had a Mayfair or craft fair since the 2nd grade, even though I didn't go to the Ice Palace in the 3rd grade, even though I didn't go to the Big Island in the 4th grade, and even though I didn't go to the Aulani Overnighter, I still have very fond memories of being at Noelani Elementary School, and I will never forget the time I had here.
Good morning, Noilani Ohana. I have so many memories during my years at Noilani Elementary School, like going to Manoa Market, dressing up for Halloween Day, and catching fish at the Manoa Stream. But the one that is most meaningful happened on a regular day of school. This favorite memory is when all my best friends were at 8 plus and we got to think about the last day of 5th grade. It was the best year of my life and it was coming to an end. It all started when the 2:30 bell rang for dismissal. My friends were so excited it was Friday. We decided to run to 8 plus like we were late for the first day of school. When we arrived at 8 plus, we were so out of breath that we tumbled to the floor as we laughed. A little while later, we started watching a movie and it was my favorite, Spiderwick. Shortly after, the movie paused and our 8 plus leader said close up. We all started to stand up and close the windows. When everyone was heading out of the room, Viola was panicking because she had so much stuff to put away. So we all waited for her. While she was zipping her backpack, the door slammed and it became dark in the room. We all started to scream because we couldn't see anything. What if there's a creature hiding under the table? Viola yelled. When I grasped the latch to shove the door open, we ran out the blinding doorway. When we caught the sunlight in our eyes, we looked at each other and started to laugh until our eyes started to tear up. As soon as my shoe touched the grass, I felt the light drizzle on my skin, so we started to run. When we reached the court, I quickly snatched a volleyball and we began to play as we yelled mine and yours. After a few minutes of bumping to each other, we sat down and talked about the last day of school. It's going to be so hard for me to make friends in a new school, Viola said with tears forming in her eyes. We started to stare at the floor, thinking about what she just said. Soon there were tears in my eyes because I was thinking of a sad song that made flashbacks of happy memories with my friends go through my mind. When all of us shared our thoughts, tears started to roll down our faces. As we cried, I watched the clouds pile up and it began to rain. As we cried, that even the Manoa mist cried along with us. As time passed, one by one we got picked up. Me, Chloe, and Viola were the last ones. When they left, I told both of them that I would never forget this day. Even to this day, even now, we keep on saying that we'll never forget each other. And it's because our friendship is unbreakable. I thank Noilani for the memories and everlasting friendships I have made.
A spoonful of laughs. Good morning, families and friends. My story begins when it was a sunny Friday afternoon. After school, I walked next door to A7, Mr. Sakamoto's classroom, to ask an important question for my greenhouse project. The deadline was right around the corner, but in order to finish it, I needed Mr. Sakamoto's answer and advice. In science class, we were working on a big STEM project where we were in groups of 4 to build our own miniature greenhouse. I peeped into the door and saw Viola, Tori, and Mr. Sakamoto in the classroom on their computers finishing their work. Yes, Mori? Mr. Sakamoto questioned as he looked up from his screen. I strode into the classroom holding my Chromebook opened. I informed Mr. Sakamoto about my question, then he told me to give him my computer. I sat down in a chair next to Viola. They were trying to complete their work too. Well, not really. They were actually trying to search up jokes on the internet. Okay, I have another one. Why couldn't the pony sing a lullaby? Its throat was very hoarse, Viola exclaimed. While I was laughing my head off at her horse joke, Tori started to crack another one. Mr. Sakamoto multitasked by listening to their amusing jokes, but also trying his best to assist me with my design on the computer. He actually was guessing the answers for some of the jokes too. 15 minutes passed, and at this point, we all were not completing any work at all. We were just having a good time and sharing a spoonful of laughs. Inside my head, I was telling myself, I hope Mr. Sakamoto takes a long time to show me how to change the angle for my wall. I just want to stay in his classroom so I could be with the girls and listen to more of their funny puns and jokes. Seconds later, Mr. Sakamoto suggested that I modify some of my details for my greenhouse design. "Oh man," groaned a voice in my head. "That was too fast." He swiftly demonstrated a caption for me, then I did the rest. Luckily, I was still in the room. Continuously, Viola and Tori came along with more and more jokes. Mr. Sakamoto and I were really entertained. "What did the ocean say to the shore?" Tori asked. "Nothing, it just waved," Viola blurted out, cutting Tori off. "I already saw that one," Viola giggled. "Okay, you guys have to go back to A plus because you never finished any of your work," Mr. Sakamoto commanded. He had an annoyed look across his face. So the three of us were about to go back to A plus, but I guess Viola became hungry because she asked Mr. Sakamoto if we could eat our snacks outside. I was bubbling with joy inside my stomach when he sighed, "Fine, but you only have 10 minutes, then you're going to A plus." I was so exhilarated because the day just got better. First, we were all having a blast inside the classroom. Then, we got to eat our snacks together outside. Even more awesome. Mr. Sakamoto, Tori, and Viola probably thought it was an ordinary, same old type of day. But I was having the time of my life. I grabbed my snack bag and cheerfully skipped out the door. We talked and caught up while eating our snacks. Before we knew it, our snack time was over. We said bye to Mr. Sakamoto and walked back to A plus. Looking back today, I am super grateful to have one of those last best days ever at Noilani Elementary School. Having my amazing friends and supportive teachers around me made my day 100 times better. I learned that laughter is the best medicine when you are under pressure. I got my work done, but also had a marvelous time in the process. Having the company and support of my friends and Mr. Sakamoto released the heavy weight off my shoulders and replaced it with laughs and joy. This moment is what I will treasure in my heart here at Noilani Elementary School. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Oliver, Tori, and Mari. I would now like to ask Mrs. Stephanie Bulow to present our legacy gift.
Aloha and good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Bulow, and I'm honored to present the 5th grade legacy gift on behalf of Noelani Elementary School's class of 2022 students and families. The 5th grade legacy gift is a long-standing tradition here. It's the students' way of showing appreciation to everyone who has nurtured and taught them over the years. Past gifts have included the beautiful mural on A building, as well as our beloved gecko mascot that greets you by the office. This year, all of the students at Noelani received the gift of this beautiful idea center and library that you see behind you here. This class was blessed to have had the opportunity to spend their final year enjoying the learning space. And as their parting gift to Noelani and the students who follow in their footsteps, they are proud to share their love for reading, passion for storytelling, and the stories that inspire and lift their spirits. Each student reflected on how books have impacted their lives, from favorite childhood stories to tales and fables that we read to them before bed, and to the chapter books and series that have sparked their imagination and allowed our children to dream. On behalf of the students and families of the class of 2022, I present a collection of their favorite books. May you all remember the Noelani class of 2022 as you enjoy these books for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who organized our Legacy Gift project. We will now show you a video with highlights from our 5th grade year. Please sit back and enjoy the show.
Drawers, floors, doors. Let's go! This is our home. We've got every generation. So full of music, a rhythm of its own design. This is my family, a perfect constellation. So many stars, and everybody gets to shine. Whoa! Let's be clear, Abuela runs this show. Whoa! She let us here so many years ago. Whoa! And every year our family blessings grow. There's just a lot you simply got to know. So, welcome to the family Madrigal, the home of the family Madrigal. We're on our way, where all the people are fantastical and magical. I'm part of the family Madrigal.
Where are the gifts? I can't remember all the gifts.
All right, relax.
It is physically impossible to relax. Everything. What are your powers? Just tell us what everyone can do.
And that's why coffee's for grown-ups. My tia Peppa, her mood affects the weather. When she's unhappy, well, the temperature gets weird. My Theo Bruno, we don't talk about Bruno. They say he saw the future. One day he disappeared. Oh, and that's why Mom Julieta, here's her deal. Whoa, the truth is she can heal you with a meal. Whoa, her recipes are remedies for real. If you're impressed, imagine how I feel, Mom. Welcome to the family Madrigal, the home of the family Madrigal. Hey, coming through! I know it sounds a bit fantastical and magical, but I'm part of the family Madrigal. You guys fell in love with family Madrigal, and now they're part of the family Madrigal. See, Theo Felix married Peppa, and my dad married Julieta. That's how Abuela became an Abuela Madrigal. Let's go, let's go!
We swear to always help those around us and earn the miracle that somehow found us. The town keeps growing, the world keeps turning, but work and dedication will keep the miracle burning, and each new generation must keep the miracle burning.
Wait, who's a sister and who's a cousin? There's so many people. How do you keep them all straight?
Okay. So many kids in our house, so let's turn the sound up. You know why? I think it's time for a grandkid roundup. Cousin Dolores can hear a pin drop. Camilo shapeshifts. Antonio gets his gift today. My older sisters, Isabella and Luisa. One strong, one graceful, perfect in every way. Grows a flower, the town goes wild. She's a perfect golden child. And Luisa's super strong, the beauty and the brawn do no wrong. That's life in the family Madrigal. Now you know the family Madrigal, where all the people are fantastical and magical. That's who we are in the family Madrigal. Adios. Oh.
But what's your gift?
Well, I gotta go the life of a Madrigal. But now you all know the family Madrigal. I never meant this to get autobiographical. So just to review the family Madrigal. Let's go! It starts with Abuela and then Tia Peppa, she handles the weather. My mom Julieta can make you feel better with just one arepa. My dad Agustin, well, he's accident prone, but he means well. Hey, you said you wanna know what everyone does. I got sisters and cousins and my primo Camilo won't stop until he makes you smile today. My cousin Dolores can hear this whole chorus a mile away. Look at Sister Mariana, hey, you can marry my sister if you wanna. Between you and me, she's kind of a prima donna. You always said too much and thank you, but I really gotta go. My family's amazing, and I'm in my family, so well. Look at this home. We need a new foundation. It may seem hopeless, but we'll get by just fine. Look at this family, a glowing constellation, so full of stars, and everybody wants to shine. But the stars don't shine, they burn, and the constellation
I'm sorry I held on too tight. Just so afraid I'd lose you too. The miracle is not some magic that you've got. The miracle is you, not some gift, just you. The miracle is you, all of you, all of you.
Okay, so we gonna talk about Bruno.
It's Bruno.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about Bruno. I'll start. Okay, Pep, I'm sorry about your wedding. Didn't mean to be upsetting. That wasn't a prophecy. I could just see you were sweating. And I wanted you to know that your bro loves you so. Let it in, let it out, let it rain, let it snow, let it go. That's what I'm always saying, bro. Got a lot of apologies I got to say.
Hey, we're just happy that you're here, okay?
Coming to the light.
The trip was over unite, and no matter what happens, we're gonna find our way.
Yo, I knew he never left. I heard him every day.
What's that sound?
I think it's everyone in town.
As a team, you're so strong.
Yeah, but sometimes I cry.
So do I.
I may not be as strong, but I'm getting wiser.
Yeah, I need sunlight and fertilizer. Come on, let's plant some new and watch it fly. Straight up to the sky, let's go. Stars don't shine, they burn. The constellations glow. The seasons change in turn.
To watch our little girl grow, she takes after you.
Hey, Mariano, why so blue?
I just have so much loving.
In every child there lies a promise. There's great potential in their hearts and minds. They only need a little kindness, patience and guidance to help them fly. In every child a promise. Give them a chance and see. Each one is very special. Be part of their dream. In every child lies our future. Teach them the past so they can find their way. Life's greatest lessons come from sharing. Each child's true knowledge will shine one day. In every child a promise. Give them a chance to see. Each one is very special. Be part of the dream. In every child there lies a promise. There's great potential in their hearts and minds. So if we show our love with kindness, patience and guidance, they will fly. In every child a promise. Let's show them we believe. Each one is very special. Let them live their dream. Live their dream.
The days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who love you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and you never regret, and you help somebody every chance you get. Oh, you find God's grace in every mistake, and always give more than you take. But more than anything, yeah, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my My wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. This is my wish. I hope you know somebody loves you. May all your dreams stay big.
We will now have the presentation of the diplomas.
The fifth grade teachers pose these questions to the students. What do you think you will be doing in 20 years? What is your favorite Noelani memory? And what is a life lesson you have learned from your time here at Noelani School? As each of the students come up to receive their diplomas, we will read one of their responses. Kai Kumabe, A life lesson Kai learned at this school was that when you fall, you get back up and keep trying. Many times during robotics and science, Kai failed, learned, and tried again.
Kira Haberman. Kira has learned that friends are the best when they respect you and like you for who you are on the inside. She has friends who do projects with her, hang out, and make her laugh so hard at all their funny stories. She's grateful that she got to know all these amazing people at Noelani.
Kamakoa de Blake. In 20 years, Kamakoa sees himself as a slightly successful voice actor. He will be part of a small show on TV. He'll be living in a nice apartment with a wife and twins, one boy and one girl.
Oliver Lucas. In 20 years, Oliver sees himself living in a 2-story house with a pool and a balcony, a wife and a son. He'll have one Shiba Inu dog and one gray tabby cat. He'll be developing shows, films, and movies, being the head of his own company. And maybe just he will have a koi pond and a small garden.
Kason Zhang. In 20 years, Kason will be an awesome computer repair person and catch bugs during his free time.
Malia Kumabe. Malia's favorite Noelani memory is when all of the 5th graders went to the Manoa Marketplace and they all went to different places like McDonald's, Safeway, and Subway.
Victoria Saito. In 20 years, Tori sees herself probably getting married and opening a restaurant with her best friend. They would have a golden retriever and German shepherd named Marley and Kelly, and a cat that her best friend will love. They will live together in a nice house or apartment and have a blue or pink Tesla in Sacramento, California.
Noah Durant. In 20 years, Noah thinks he'll be working at a computer company like Apple and living in the Silicon Valley of California. He imagines he'll be programming computers, tablets, watches, and phones. He plans to save enough money to allow him to move back to Hawaii and purchase his parents' house in Manoa.
Samson Liu. Some life lessons Samson learned at Noelani are that doing your best is always essential, even if your best is enough, and that if you are kind and caring to others, they will treat you with respect.
Kirsten Ray Young. In 20 years, Kirsten will be a professional volleyball player, hopefully in the Olympics. She'll be living in her childhood home here in Hawaii with 4 dogs, 1 husky, 2 bulldogs, and 1 Doberman, and hopefully being able to travel around the world.
Amaron Alo. In 20 years, Amaron sees himself playing basketball and making it to the Hall of Fame. He will have 3 rings. He will live in a 2-story house with 2 dogs named Kobe and Jordan and have 3 kids, 2 girls, 1 boy. He will have a shoe collection of the most expensive basketball shoes. James Blake. Life lessons that James learned at Noelani are to be flexible, be who you are, and try until you succeed. Hannah Jerdurski. In 20 years, Hannah will be a pediatrician and an author living in a cute cottage in Canada. She plans to speak at least 4 languages, have a family of 2 kids and 2 cats. She will visit Hawaii often and make sure she doesn't forget how to surf. Ariel Herbst. In 20 years, Ariel hopes to be growing as a successful pro artist, selling her physical work and digital work for her own business, while having an equally successful job as a wildlife biologist, working with plants and animals in a healthy space. She hopes in 20 years she will have a good, stable 2-story house in California with a partner that is also pretty successful and a few pets. Braylon Ane. In 20 years, Braylon will be an NFL football player for the New York Giants. He will drive around in a red Lamborghini with his German Shepherd. He will also live in a house with water slides and a big backyard for his friends, mom, dad, and 2 brothers.
Jaron Nagamine. In 20 years, Jaron will own a farm with chickens, a husky, and ducks. Also, he will have 2 kids that will go fishing with him because behind his house will be the ocean. Last, he will live right next to his best friend Wyatt so they can fish together.
Max Kisselgoff. In 20 years, Max will be in architecture. He wants to follow how his whole family are architects, and he'll have 1 child, 1 dog, and 2 cars.
Alyssa Balmores. One lesson Alyssa learned was not to procrastinate, because if you do, you'll almost immediately regret it because of the stress of having to finish difficult work will fry your brain.
Karen Nowicki. Karen pictures herself already graduated and done with undergraduate pre-medical studies, therefore working as a chiropractor. While working as a chiropractor, she would think of having some pets like a dog. From the moment she heard her dad cracking backs, she knew a chiropractor is what she wanted to be.
Cooper Stidham. In 20 years, Cooper believes he will be a successful game developer or programmer. Cooper thinks he will live in a large house in a country where it snows, with a large pool, at least 2 kids, a dog, maybe a wiener dog, and a loving wife.
Thomas Yadao. In 20 years, Thomas will be a game or app designer or a medical scientist that studies world diseases like COVID-19 or the new disease called monkeypox.
Viola Moore. A lesson Viola learned was that if you are quiet, nothing will change, and if you are shy, nothing will happen. But if you are loud and brave, you will make friends and good connections, so you really need to put yourself out there.
Jolie Young. In 20 years, Jolie will be a YouTuber playing video games and hopefully making good money. She'll live in a 3-story house with 2 kids, a golden retriever, a husky, 1 cat, and a guinea pig.
Caleb Romine. In 20 years, Caleb sees himself playing MLB on the Dodgers. He will have a golden retriever named Zeddy and an orange-striped cat named Sid. He would also have 2 boys and 1 girl and will be living in a 2-story house with a water slide, batting cage, and Lambo.
Logan Chu. In 20 years, Logan will finish his master's degree and become a doctor. He'll live in Hawaii in a 2-story house in Manoa. The house will have a pool and a mini garden in the backyard. He'll also have 1 dog, a Shiba Inu, a loving wife, 1 child, and a Tesla.
Lalea Ing. In 20 years, Lalea sees herself working hard for the things she needs. Lalea sees herself as a marine biologist and determined to raise her own family. She wants to be happy. She doesn't care if she is rich or not. She wants to have 2 kids and she will live in Hawaii. Alana Kumabe. Alana learned that in school you can not only learn but make friends, learn new interests, have fun, and just be yourself. She learned that you can create memories and close bonds with people that you meet and overall having an amazing experience with others. Colton Christensen. In 20 years, Colton will be a Manchester United and USA's best outside back. He will have 6 World Cup trophies and 14 Champion League trophies. He will have a house with a big soccer pitch and 1 dog that is a chocolate lab. He will be sponsored by Nike and will have one of the biggest soccer cleat collections. Lawson Wan. In 20 years, Lawson will be either a sports agent and hopefully Braylon's client. He hopes to bring his parents to NFL games and parties. Also, Lawson wants to become a zoologist and work for National Geographic. He wants to live in Ontario, Canada, next to Niagara Falls with Lawson's family, 2 kids, a wife, and 2 dogs named King and Kong with a collection of exotic cars. Willow Ishihara. In 20 years, Willow sees herself doing art and animation, hopefully getting paid for her YouTube channel and having a bakery for dogs, cats, and humans with her sister. She will have 2 kids.
Iris Han. In 20 years, Iris sees herself in a 2-story house working as a designer and either a physician, doctor, or psychologist. She'll also own a kitty or 2. In the future, she'd like to have a single life, but who knows what could happen in the future. She'll usually spend her time sketching out designs for clothes or working in a hospital or office.
Saya Doi. A lifetime experience Saya has experienced as a student in Noelani was having friends to play with, and also the chance to be more responsible when COVID happened. She even became more self-efficient for the homework she's assigned. The work keeps getting harder, but she's ready to keep working on schoolwork.
Ryder Yap. In 20 years, Ryder will be in a 3-story house in Paris. He will have a boy named Benjamin and a girl named Ellie with a happy wife. He will also have a black Italian Mastiff named T'Challa and a Shih Tzu named Charlie and a golden retriever named Luna. He will be a professional soccer player for PSG and also a part-time Fortnite gamer with Caleb Romine.
Reagan Yee. In 20 years, Reagan wants to be a worker at Pearl Harbor, and he wants 1 kid, a boy, and a husky or a Shiba Inu or both. He wants a medium-sized house, and he wants a 4Runner for a work car and a small car for weekends. He also wants to live in Manoa.
Emika Goodell. One lesson Emika learned is whenever you're in a brand new school and you don't know anyone, that's okay. Just be yourself, and at some point you will make the best memories and the best friends you could ever ask for, just like I did.
Aspen Palms. In 20 years, Aspen will have graduated Juilliard in New York, having done theater for all 4 years, and she intends to stay in New York. After that, Aspen will be an actress on Broadway with a family at home, and she will live in a New York apartment with one 6-year-old.
Masachika Tarui. In 20 years, Masa will be a famous artist drawing and painting animals and nature. His famous art piece will be titled Masa's World, consisting of a society of islands in the ocean.
Phineas Elliott. In 20 years, Finn sees himself as a patent attorney in Texas in a huge house with 9 Himalayan guinea pigs.
Esme Kupferman. In 20 years, Esme sees herself as a hardworking doctor, married with 2 healthy dogs and with 2 healthy kids and 1 dog. Twice a week, she'll receive some freshly delivered French bread from Viola and Tori's bakery. She will live in a 4-story house with a tent in the backyard for her guests.
Melody Luo. In 20 years, Melody hopes to be a lawyer with a loving partner, a duck, a parrot, a chicken, and a cat. When she graduates college, she'll come back to Hawaii and hopefully buy a 3-story house next to a lake.
Claire Chen. In 20 years, Claire imagines herself being a semi-successful author. She will be living in Oahu with multiple pets, including a rabbit, guinea pig, and a spider. Anella Salafis. In 20 years, Anella sees herself working as a successful doctor or police officer. She will be living in a nice big home in Hawaii. She will live with her parents and start her own family. Carter Lau. In 20 years, Carter thinks that he will live somewhere in the city with the rest of his family. His job will be either a professor, scientist, or athlete. He will have 2 children, 1 boy and 1 girl that are twins. He will also live near his parents just in case of an emergency, just like his parents do with theirs. Maxwell Lowe. In 20 years, Maxwell thinks he will be a well-paid engineer living in a 2-story house. He thinks he would also have a house mostly run on renewable energy. He also imagines raising a family with 2 kids in a home with a cozy office, an open backyard, and a well-trimmed lawn. Alyssa Lee. Alyssa learned that you don't need to be great at everything. You just need to try your hardest, and you may make mistakes, but you can learn from them and fix those mistakes. You are not here just to learn new things. You're here to make friends, create memories, and have fun.
Shiyoung Kim. A life lesson Shiyoung learned here at Noelani is that kindness is a gift. It will follow you as long as you give and share kindness to others. The teachers, the lessons, and the stories have taught her that over the years here at this school, and she will never forget it.
Dylan Bulow. In 20 years, Dylan sees himself living in a mansion in Wisconsin with a wife and 2 kids. He will be an architect working at his own company, Banana Co.
Derek Doe. Derek learned that when you make friends, just be yourself. If they like you the way you are, then they will be good friends. If they don't, you and them would not be suitable.
Chloe Davidson. Chloe learned to work together as a team and always make sure you're being nice. She also learned that everyone's going to be different in one way, so just make sure you're including them and accepting them as a person.
Ines Furusawa Stratton. In 20 years, Ines sees herself as a celebrant, a funeral director, or studying to become a doctor or lawyer. She imagines that she would have a partner and 1 to 2 dogs. She would want to live in an apartment and would like to be able to talk to her parents often.
Elijah Moore. In 20 years, Elijah pictures himself in a 2-story house in Minnesota with a living wife, 3 kids, and a bulldog named Doug. He will be a professional football player for the Minnesota Vikings and finally win them their first Super Bowl. And then when he's done playing football, he will start working in construction.
Noah Edamura. In 20 years, Noah sees himself as a famous dancer. He'll have a beautiful wife and live in New York in a 2-story house with a dog and all his chickens. He'll have twins, a girl and a boy. He's going to visit his family in Hawaii at least once a year.
Zoe Kaahihue. Zoe learned that it's helpful to have friends because when it comes down to the long run, it's always helpful.
Wyatt Shitagi. In 20 years, Wyatt thinks he'll be a football player only playing for the money because he's too old for the NFL. But he'll have 4 Super Bowl rings, and his home will be a 2-story high beachfront home. He'll have 2 dogs that are very small, a Bugatti car, and a truck. He will be living next to Jaren and will be fishing every week.
Chasten Fujiyama. Jackson says, if you can't get one thing that you want, then strive for others. There are always different outcomes than what you think will happen.
Kohei Nogi. In 20 years, Kohei will be a team physician or a family physician. He will live in Japan, have a house, and take care of his family. Kohei will have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, but not twins. He will also get a master's degree and have a happy life. Cameron C. Hayes. In 20 years, Cameron imagines himself living in a nice home in Manoa. His job would be a corporate businessman, having a decent pay and a wife with 3 kids. They would have a big yard and a trained dog for the kids to play and run around. El Sensano. In 20 years, Elle will be an astronomer at work with an amazing outside environment. At home, she will have 1 king shepherd and be a single mother of 1 adopted child. She will bake for her in a small, simple house and take care of her parents. She will try to go to all of her kids' events. She will own a SUV and send her kid to Noelani so they can live the life she lived. Tessa Swan. The life lesson that Tessa learned is that being kind is beneficial to you and the people around you. She thinks this is important because it improves bonds and the mood of others. She thinks it is amazing how just one small act of kindness can brighten someone's day. Mason Pasawa. In 20 years, Mason will be a successful firefighter with a master's degree. He'll have a clean and well-organized home. In addition, he will have a wife with 2 or 3 kids and many pets, such as a Jackson chameleon named Yoda, a rooster named Joe, and finally, a French bulldog named Augie.
Samantha Ancheta. In 20 years, Samantha sees herself as a veterinarian, living in a mansion and spoiling her family members. She will have a pug named Piper and a poodle named Keel because she doesn't like kids. She'll also be living a happy life and finishing One Piece, even if it means she has to stay awake all night.
Brady Takesue. One of Brady's life lessons was that he learned that Noelani was teamwork. For example, in PE, Mrs. Lum taught the 5th graders different sports and also gave them fun challenges which required them to communicate with each other. In life, sometimes you have to learn how to work together as a team to complete a task.
Fabian Street. In 20 years, Fabian sees herself as a hardworking woman with a well-paying job so she can support her family. She will have her own house that she bought for her and her mother. She'll have her grown-up dog Toto, and she'll have 5 cats and 4 more dogs. She will not start her own family because she will already have babies, her 5 cats and 5 dogs.
Taehu Kim. Taehu's favorite memory at Noelani is when he did science projects in school. In 3rd grade, the class was doing a project about geckos and making a shelter for them. They made the house with an egg carton and other materials. The other project is when they plan to make PVC greenhouses and planting the native plants.
Mari Wakabayashi. In 20 years, Mari will finish acting school and college and fly back to Hawaii. She will accomplish her dreams of becoming a successful actress and a Broadway star. She will help direct local plays at Diamond Head Theater and entertain kids in plays at HTY. She will live in her childhood home with her parents and raise 2 kids in Manoa Valley. She will live an awesome life with great friends and experiences. Also have the best day ever every day, especially Fridays.
Ichiko Steven. Ichiko's favorite Noelani memory was when she had fun going to the Manoa Marketplace and working hard on her projects.
Cody Suyama. Cody's favorite Noelani memory is playing on the playgrounds. For most of the time, he's been in B building. The playground is where he was for most of the recess. When he played tag going down the slide and other stuff, it managed to keep him entertained for a long time.
Alex Lee. Alex sees himself in 20 years making a fortune out of the stock market and making YouTube videos. He also sees having a 10 million subscriber Diamond Play button on display with a happy life.
Kalena Yamamoto. In 20 years, Kalena sees herself as a Broadway actress. She sees herself with a family of 5 kids just like her mom. As for her homes, they would be in both Hollywood and in Hawaii next to her parents. Her homes will be both a 2-story house. Jareth Tanaka. In 20 years, Jareth will either have a lot of dogs, 4 pets in his house, or a lot of squirrels hanging around. He will live near or in nature and away from people. He will have a job of making video games and a side job of cooking food for the homeless and donating half of his payment to the homeless.
Justice Shitaoka. Justice's favorite memory is when someone got a ball stuck in the tree at recess. Someone accidentally kicked the volleyball up, and his classmates tried to throw the other balls to knock it back down. After 10 minutes of trying, the volleyball, 2 basketballs, and a kickball were stuck in the tree. It was very funny, and they had to rely on the wind to get them all down another day. Ryder Akins. In 20 years, Ryder would like to be an animator. He always liked to draw, so he thought an animator would be a perfect job. He would also think, how am I 31 already?
Teachers, students, and families, I would like to present to you the 59th graduating class of Noelani School, the class of 2022. Before we end, we would like to thank Ms. I for printing our diplomas and all the other support staff for helping us with the preparations for our graduation program. We would also like to thank the many parents who volunteered their time for graduation and the legacy gift. We also want to thank the parents who donated items to our school throughout the years. You have made Noelani School the special place that it is. We wish the graduating class of 2022 much success at their new schools. And remember, once a gecko. All right. This concludes our 2022 Noelani graduation program. Thank you for tuning in. Fifth graders, please stay where you are. Oh, and parents as well. Thank you.
Okay, just give us a second. We're going to let the teachers get down there. While we're waiting, I want to send a special thank you to the PTA, because without their help and support, we would not have been able to have parents and guests here. You know, when we first planned this thing, we were going to just have students and just have a live stream. But Danny, our outgoing PTA president, and Stanford, our incoming PTA president, and a lot of other people, lots and lots of people who've come on their own time to put up these tents, do the balloons, and do a lot of things behind the scenes, like the check-in today, and helping us out to make everything run smoothly. So can I get a round of applause and recognition for our PTA, who's just the most awesome PTA out there. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Mr. Sakamoto's class is going to be the lei giving part, okay? So Mr. Sakamoto's class is going to go this way. Mr. Higa's class is going to go this way. And Ms. Shigaki's class is going to stay here in the middle. We're planning on about, if we can have you guys be done by about 10 o'clock, gives you guys about 25 minutes, just so we can kind of get going with all of our other school stuff. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming, and have a great day.